Right, here we are, July update.
Everything's really booming right now as far as our warm season crops go.
We had to mulch the strawberry bed again because the weeds were out of control.
But potted tomatoes are looking pretty good, even with this heat that we've had lately. I had to water them daily though.
Parsley still kicking strong somehow.
And then we have some watermelon in that bed, and our chicory's really going crazy right now too.
We're gonna let that go to seed. So hopefully it'll flower soon. And we've gotten a lot of the spaghetti squash volunteers out, so we're just kind of letting them do their thing. We don't have a lot of plans for this bed at the moment, so they can kind of just go with it.
We're letting it rest before our fall planting begins. Our pepper bed's doing pretty well now. The super hots are a little slow to start, but here in about another month we'll probably be pulling a lot of peppers. Our bell peppers and banana peppers are looking pretty good for this time of the year.
Got some baby bells coming in here, which is exciting.
And up to our eggplant and pepper and okra bed. These eggplants with this heat are really doing well because this is a variety from Southeast Asia. They're looking pretty great.
This is what we have. And they've just been pumping out eggplants. They're about 6 inches long to 8, and they've just been delicious and tender. We've loved them. Plus the flowers are really beautiful too. They're this really nice, lovely lavender purple color. Our marigolds are doing great, keeping pests away.
And then our okra is another thing that really loves this heat. It's looking great right now.
As are our little basil plants. They've really taken off over the last week with how hot it's been. Really high 90s every day.
Our asparagus bed is also looking pretty great right now. We are just letting all these roots get a little bit better established and going to be able to take a really nice harvest off of it in the spring next year.
These are all the seed pods. You can see them all peppered in throughout. Letting those mature, and we're going to grab some of those as well.
And our first round of bush beans for the year are pretty much done. We're still pulling a few off of our Royal Burgundy, which are these here. And the actual green beans are pretty much done. We're gonna pull up all these plants, lay them down, and then mulch over that. Put a lot of good nitrogen into the soil once we actually do that.
Put in some pumpkins. These are early giant hybrid pumpkins. They're really perfect for jack-o'-lanterns. They're like the taller, skinnier ones you see. So we're excited about that.
And we had completed this bed recently, which will end up being our greens bed throughout the fall and winter. So we'll have lots and lots of greens back here in about another month and a half or so.
Here's the beautiful trellis Anthony made, and it's just full of cucumber or lemon cucumbers right now. You can see it peek in. There's 2 there. The pollinators have been going nuts. This heat's affecting a lot of the fruiting going on right now, but it is what it is.
The cucumbers are still doing okay.
They're great.
And then our husk cherry is really loving this heat as well. It's been fruiting for a while, and the fruiting doesn't seem to slow down the growth at all, so we just kind of let it go. And once those fruits on there actually dry out a little bit and start to drop, that's when we know they're ready, similar to like tomatillos. Watermelons?
Yeah, these are all of our watermelons and cantaloupe, just our melon bed in general. We have some savor melons in here, This is a sugar baby that's struggling.
We haven't been fruiting quite yet because of this heat wave, but we should be getting some fruits here before too long. The tomatillos are looking great right now too. They love this heat just like the husk cherry. We should be getting fruits on that here before too long. They take a while to mature, so once they actually start maturing, we'll be overrun with tomatillo.
You can see here we have some of the starts of some lanterns coming down, so there's another big one right here. All right, and then here are tomatoes doing wonderfully. They're just producing like crazy.
These are our purple prince. This is the first year we've actually grown these, so I'm really excited to see what they end up looking like.
And here's the craziness that is all of our other tomato plants. It looks chaotic, but it's oddly actually quite organized. All of these cherry tomatoes, these yellow and orange cherry tomatoes, have been so delicious and sweet. And then if we come around, we've had a hard time supporting a lot of these, just they're so heavy because these tomatoes have been huge.
These are cosmos.
Cosmonauts. These, I believe, are our jubilees, yellow-orange jubilees. And like I said, I mean, there's just a lot of weight on these. You can see how huge these are, like compared to my hand. And they're just all the way down.
And then our cucumber plant is going a little bit slower than I was hoping this year, but we're still getting quite a few cucumbers. Not quite enough to pickle yet, but there's a lot of fruit coming in on that, so we should have a lot soon.
And here's just more of our basil. We've pruned this. We've had this all season, and we just keep pruning it back, making pesto, drying, and our Thai basil I thought was going to be done, and it's just more beautiful than ever than it has been. And same with these basil plants. They've just done so well this year.
Our zucchini plants are doing really well. We had a bit of a vine borer issue earlier in this month. You can see there where the vine borers really got in there, and I have picked out about 7 or 8 out of this plant here with some tweezers. But I was able to save the plant, and we're still getting a zucchini off of that, and the same can be said for this zucchini. And then our squash over here, I thought we were going to lose it as well, but it's doing just as good as ever. We were able to save all of those. This year was a terrible year for vine borers. So our Cardinal Flower is about to bloom. This is a native. It normally does better in riparian areas, but we get a lot of water up here. And it's actually done really well in this area, so I'm very excited about this. It's not we won't get any fruit or any food from that, but pollinators around here will absolutely love that. And the same can be said for the rest of our wildflower bed, which is kind of slowing down. We're starting to see a lot of deadheads from all the black-eyed Susans and some of the other Indian blanket and whatnot. But we're getting loads of seeds off that this year, which is great, and the birds are loving it too.
Yeah, every time we come outside, we open the door, there's at least like 5 birds in here just munching away, having a great time.
Then our blackberries, this plant was planted earlier this year, and we're getting berries off of it, which is such a surprise. This thing has grown at least 10 times what it was when we bought it.
Absolutely.
It's really looking good.
And then all of our others they're going in for 2nd or 3rd
bloom,
which is really exciting.
Yeah, this plant is 2 years old. These were going a little bit slower than I hoped, but next year we should get a really successful berry harvest.
Yeah. And this one's huge. This one's grown tremendously.
Here's another native that we've had blooming now. It's a Loomis Mountain Mint. It's really turned white, kind of bleached from the sun, but it's really pretty. I've seen a lot of bees on it lately. The flowers are really small on it, but you can use the leaves in tea, and we used it in a watermelon salad as well this year, so that was actually pretty good.
And then here's our blueberry bush we got earlier this year in like late spring, and it's doing really wonderfully.
It's a high bush blueberry, which is another native North Carolina plant. It's the variety that'll get a lot taller than your northern varieties. Peach tree that we planted a little, a few months ago now. It was bare root plant that we got. I think the variety is a Southern Belle. It'll take a while before you get fruit from that, but I'm glad to see we're finally getting some good growth off of it now, so that's really good. Our Jerusalem artichokes or sunchokes are doing really well. And you can kind of see how tall they are from being at the house, but I'm only 6 foot and they're much taller than I am. We won't get a bloom until probably about late September, I think, maybe early October is when they were blooming last year. And we plan on moving these after this year because they are an extremely aggressive, just tenacious plant that kind of takes over wherever they're at. So we want to relocate these to somewhere that's a little more practical for them.
Over here we have our big lavender barrel. We've had this for really 2 years now, and every year I've been adding a plant, and it's just, I mean, it's taken off. It's been beautiful. I've gotten a lot of the buds off of here, and they're all preserved and ready to add into breads and desserts or whatever, beverages, whatever we want to make with them. It just smells amazing. You just run your hands through here, and it's just been great. And then over here, all these daylilies were already here when we got here. It's just weed crazy right now because it's just out of control, but we decided to have an experiment with zinnias, and they are huge and beautiful.
Yeah, I'm super surprised at how tall they are, but man, they are gorgeous. It's like a candy store over here.
Absolutely. It's just been a really nice pop of color for over here. Well, thank you for watching. Piper's excited about it, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.